Welcome to the She Wins podcast. I'm your host, Heather Sumlin, and this is my ahas from my interview with Lauren Vizza Rich. I wrote down several things, so let's jump in. Let's jump in and see. One of the first things that she said, and I believe it was after she had a really difficult experience in high school where she had multiple injuries that kept her from competing in soccer in college. She was going to go to college for soccer. And that was her whole reason for going to college. Had no other reason whatsoever to go to school. Didn't know what she was going to do. And she's a planner, so it was really hard. And one of the things that she decided when she started college was she was going to say yes to everything within reason. And that whole journey led her to pageantry. It led her to being in a sorority. It led her to doing so many things that were valuable because she was willing to say yes. So going from an introverted, kind of shy a young lady to being the vibrant and extremely outgoing woman that we know today started from the decision to say yes. So one of the things I want to challenge you to do is say yes to something. Like, what are you going to say yes to today that makes tomorrow a little bit brighter, a little bit better, a little bit more fulfilling? The other thing I asked her, like, what is your definition of winning? And I ask everybody this, and she mentions that anything that moves you is a win. So if it moves you toward something bigger, brighter, better, then that's a win. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the success or the accomplishment or the achievement, in which she is probably an overachiever and an over-accomplisher and has had a tremendous amount of success in life. However, it's those small victories, those small wins along the way that matter just as much and sometimes more. So if it moves you, it's a win. And I really liked that because I think I can handle the moving, right? I think it's it's just moving towards that goal matters just as much as accomplishing it, because if you never move toward it, you're never going to get it anyway. She mentions embracing the unplanned. So a lot of times, especially overachievers or type A personalities or people who are tremendous planners like Lauren, they tend to want to plan out what's going to happen. And yet it's the unplanned moments that matter just as much. And so really embracing the things that happen when you didn't plan for them. And one of the things we talked about in the Patreon episode for women is my father had talked to me. I mean, he does goal setting. My dad's an Olympic champion. He's the founder of Mental Management Systems. I worked for him for 19 years. I teach his mental training system. And obviously we teach goal setting. That's something that matters. And you should really think about where you want to be in the next 5-10 years. Absolutely. But I remember having a conversation with him once, and he said to me, I know I teach goal setting. I know that it's important and it matters, but the most important things and the best things that have happened in my life were spontaneous. They were things I didn't plan or prepare for. They happened because they were supposed to happen in the moment in which they happened. And it wasn't something that I orchestrated or made possible. I just was present and willing to open up my eyes to the opportunity. So that's something that I want you to take away, is that sometimes it's okay if you're not heading towards some major goal, or maybe things are kind of falling apart in the process. That's okay. Pay attention to something that's unplanned, embrace it, and see if it's teaching you something. Next, she said that her mom, I can't remember what the goal was that she had said that she wanted to do. And her mom's like, why not? And that was always her answer. If there was some sort of big goal, big dream, big thing, her mom would always say, why not? And then she would say, oh, how do we do that? How can we make that happen? And I remember when I was in middle school, maybe elementary school, we wanted a swimming pool really bad. We never got one, by the way. Mom and dad never actually got us one, but we wanted one. And I remember going to my parents and saying, hey, we really want a swimming pool. And dad never said no. He said, well, I wonder how much a swimming pool would cost. I wonder what we would need to do and how we would need to make that happen. Now, we didn't wind up getting a swimming pool because at the end of the day, none of us really wanted it that bad. If we would have kept begging and kept thinking about it and talking about it, I think he would have brought us into the conversation on how to make that possible and continue to make it happen as if it's something that the whole family really wanted. But it was just the fact that he never closed the door on a dream. He never slammed the door on a dream. It was always, okay, if that's something that matters to you, let's look at why and how to make it possible. So this idea of why not, it forces you to kind of think back to what is it that's standing in the way of me having it now? And is it something that I should do? Why should I not do it? And if there's not a reason that's beneficial for you to not do it, then go for it. One of the things that she said was, what you remember is a choice. So she was talking about not placing at the national level and how that can be extremely disheartening and difficult in the moment. But then years later, only remembering the positives. And you can choose to remember the things that broke your heart, or you can choose to remember the magical moments. And so what you choose to remember is a choice. So I hope that today you say why not to something that you've really wanted to do. You get started on those goals. You look for the unplanned, and you choose to remember the things that are positive and beneficial for you. Thank you so much. Like this if you do. Share it with a friend if you would like. And join my Patreon membership. Lauren and I spent so much time talking about things that are so beneficial. She gave some great insight for women and then also spent some time talking about her biggest takeaways for pageant prep. So if you're a pageant girl and you don't follow my pageant Patreon channel, please do. We'd love to have you there. Have a blessed rest of your day.